If you've ever doom-scrolled through makeup TikTok looking for a foundation that doesn't make you white like a ghost or orange like Trump, you've probably stumbled across Golloria's iconic side-eye, or maybe a video of her sharing her journey, reviewing products, reflecting on her experience in the beauty space. She's not new to the scene. In fact, she's been doing this for a while, but it wasn't until she fearlessly called out the cosmetic giant Youthforia that her voice truly broke through all the noise. That moment set off a saga of epic proportions. The controversy wasn't just about a product. It cracked open a much deeper conversation. There were accusations of racism, global beauty brands being exposed for dishonest practices, and the harsh backlash that often meets Black women who dare to demand better. She became the target of online mobs and veiled threats, all for doing what others take for granted, speaking the truth. But this isn't a story drenched in pity or tragedy. This is the powerful arc of a Black woman who refused to be quieted. It's about resilience, about standing tall in the face of systemic silencing. She didn't just reclaim her narrative, she amplified it, and in doing so, she became a beacon for other girls and women who share her skin tone, her struggles, and her courage. This is her voice, loud and unapologetic, reshaping the beauty industry one truth at a time. But before she was out here holding brands accountable for their crimes against melanin, she was just another girl with a ring light, a camera, and a dream. Rewind the reel to 2020, and that's where you'll find the beginning of her story, when Golloria burst onto the scene like a glitter bomb at a funeral. Unapologetically loud, vibrantly unfiltered, and impossible to ignore, she arrived ready to shake up a beauty industry that had grown far too comfortable with its narrow definitions. And maybe even she didn't realize then just how loud her voice would echo.
This is the darkest shade of the Rare Beauty bronzer in the shade On the Horizon.
In October of 2020, Golloria is probably in her bedroom, surrounded by half-used makeup palettes and a phone propped up on a stack of books. She's got that "I'm about to change the game" type of energy, even if her setup looks very amateur. Her first ever TikTok drops and, oh, it's not some cute little GRW video with a Lana Del Rey filter. No. Golloria comes out swinging, talking about colorism like she's been waiting her whole life to get this off her chest. For the uninitiated, colorism is that shady little cousin of racism that says lighter skin is the gold standard, while darker skin tones get left in the dust. It's why makeup counters used to look like they were designed for a vampire convention. 0 shades for anyone deeper than a paper bag. And Golloria, she's not here for it.
Look at this difference in how major it is. This is not tone inclusivity. This is not true inclusivity. This should not be the darkest shade. This is not inclusive. This is not inclusive. This is not inclusive. This is true inclusivity. 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 In 2023, this should not be a company's darkest shade. To release new products and this be your shade range is kind of crazy. This is true inclusion, and we could even go darker. I feel like lately in the beauty industry, these complexion products are getting worse, y'all. Not only have I been receiving darkest shades like this, a lot of these are newer launches. Tone inclusivity is still not a top priority in 2023, and that's sad.
Her first video is raw, messy, and real. Like you can practically hear her dog barking in the background while she's spilling her heart out. She's talking about her own experiences as a Black woman with a deep, gorgeous complexion, and how she's tired of feeling invisible. "I deserve to be seen," she says, and you can feel the weight of every single time she walked into a store and saw a foundation range that stopped at medium tan. It's not polished, it's not rehearsed, but it hits like a freight train. People start sharing it, and suddenly, Golloria's got a little army of followers who are like, wait, she's speaking my language. Now let's be real, Golloria in 2020 is not the polished TikTok star she is today. Her early videos felt like she just learned how to use CapCut, with shaky zooms and lighting that makes you wonder if she's filming in a closet. But you know what? That's what makes her so damn lovable. She's not out here pretending to be a beauty guru with $1 million studio. She's your girl next door who's obsessed with makeup and isn't afraid to tell you when something's trash. She's reviewing whatever lands on her desk. Lip glosses that promise to plump but just sting. Highlighters that look more like craft glitter. A mascara that swears it'll give you Bambi lashes but leaves you looking like you cried through a breakup. And if it doesn't work, oh, you'll know. Gloria's got this face she makes, a mix of "are you kidding me" and "I need to speak to the manager of perfection" that says it all before she even opens her mouth. Her early content is like a chaotic makeup diary, and we're here for every second of it. One day, she's swatching a drugstore blush that looks more like she rubbed a crayon on her face than that sun-kissed glow. The next, she's trying a lip gloss that's so sticky she jokes she could use it to trap flies. But she's never mean about it. She's not out here to bully brands or make anyone feel bad. She's just keeping it 100, and her followers are eating it up. She's not just building a fan base, she's building a whole community of people who've been waiting for someone to speak their truth. Golloria hit differently from the jump because it's clear she's not chasing clout or trying to be something she's not. Golloria's out here for the girls, the gays, and the theys who've spent years mixing foundations like they're in a chemistry lab just to get a shade that doesn't make them look like they're auditioning for the Casper reboot. She's got this deep, radiant skin tone that the beauty industry has ignored since forever, and she's not afraid to say, yo, this ain't it. Her authenticity is her superpower. She's not trying to sell you a fantasy. She's trying to help you find a foundation that doesn't make you want to yeet it into the sun. Back in those early days, Golloria's not thinking about shade ranges or viral controversies. She's just having fun, playing with makeup and figuring out what works for her. But you can already see the seeds of what's coming. Every time she swatches a product and it doesn't match, you can see the wheels turning in her head, wondering why this is the darkest shade they've got. She's not just reviewing. She's noticing the patterns, the gaps, the way the beauty industry keeps saying we're inclusive while leaving whole swaths of people out in the cold. And little by little, her followers are noticing too. By 2021, Golloria is starting to get her groove. She's upgraded her setup. Maybe she's got a real ring light now, not just a desk lamp with a paper towel over it. Her editing's getting tighter, her zooms are smoother, and she's figuring out how to make her swatches pop on camera. She's still reviewing all kinds of products, eyeshadows, lip liners, and even a random skincare mask that makes her look like she's auditioning for a sci-fi movie. But you can tell she's got a special love for complexion products. "If it doesn't match my skin, what's the point?" she says in one video, holding up a BB cream that's so light she jokes she could use it as whiteout. It's a throwaway line, but it's the kind of thing that sticks with you. Golloria's not just here to play, she's here to demand better.
This is the darkest shade of the Dior Backstage Foundation. Hey friends, today we're testing the Dior Backstage Foundation in the darkest shade.
Her follower count is creeping up and she's starting to get noticed. Brands are sliding into her DMs, sending her PR packages with little handwritten notes like, "We think you'll love this." She doesn't always love it, but she's fair. She'll give everything a shot even if she's side-eyeing the packaging from the jump. "This blush is giving Barbie Dreamhouse vibes," she says in one video, holding up a hot pink compact. "Let's see if it's cute or if it's a crime scene." Spoiler, it's a crime scene. But the way she delivers the verdict, with a little smirk and a "better luck next time, sis," makes you laugh instead of cringe. That's Golloria's magic. She can roast you and still make you feel like you're in on the joke. By the end of 2021, Golloria's got a solid little following. Maybe a few thousand fans who tune in for her weekly reviews. She's not a big deal yet, but you can tell she's going places with her energy. Her videos are still chaotic in the best way. Maybe her cat jumps on the table mid-swatch, or she accidentally knocks over a bottle of setting spray and laughs it off. But you can tell she's passionate. She loves makeup, loves the creativity, loves the way it makes her feel. And more than that, she loves her people. The ones who comment, "Yes, Golloria," on every post. The ones who DM her their own shade struggles. The ones who see themselves in her. She's not just a creator, she's a connector. And she's about to take that energy to a whole new level.
I have struggled for years to find a contour. Today we're going to be trying the Fenty Matchstick in the color Caviar. It is the darkest shade that they have in this matchstick, but I'm scared. First things first, I love the packaging. I think it is really cute. This is what it looks like. It's pretty dark as you can see, but whenever you put it towards my skin, it kind of looks like the same shade as my foundation. Let's just go ahead and try it. Wait. Oh my God, wait. I know y'all see that. I know y'all see that. Okay, let's do a little forehead moment. Wait. Rum-pa-pa-bum, rum-pa-pa-bum, rum-pa-pa-bum. I know y'all see that. I'm so excited. Let's just blend this out. You guys, when I tell you this blended out literally so easily, and it's actually darker than my foundation. This is the final product and I just have to say, wow.
Let us fast forward to 2022, where Golloria George is about to level up in a way that makes the beauty world sit up and take notice. She's been serving looks and laughs on TikTok for a minute now, but this is the year she decides to stop playing around and start getting serious. Well, as serious as you can get while still throwing clown horn sound effects into your videos, Golloria was about to become the shade testing queen the internet didn't know they needed, and the beauty industry is not ready for the storm that's coming. So by early 2022, Golloria is still the queen of selling the "I'm filming this in my bedroom with a ring light I got on Amazon for $15 vibe, but you can tell she's starting to find her groove. Her videos are sharper, her edits are snappier, and she's got this knack for making you feel like you're her bestie, even though you're just some rando watching her from your couch at 2 a.m. But up until now, she's been all over the place with her content. Lip glosses one day, eyeshadows the next, maybe a skincare mask. It's cute, it's fun, but it's not iconic yet. That's about to change, because Golloria is about to discover her true calling, foundation reviews. And once she goes down that rabbit hole, there's no turning back. Let's talk about why foundations are such a big deal. Because if you're not a makeup stan, you might be like, it's just foundation, chill. But no, it's not just the foundation, it's the holy grail of beauty products, the make or break moment of your whole routine. A good foundation is supposed to blend into your skin like it's your actual face, but better. Smooth, flawless, perfect. But here's the tea for years. The beauty industry acted like only light to medium skin tones deserved that magic. If you had a deeper complexion, good luck. You were either mixing shades or just giving up and were using powder that made you look like you rolled in flour. Golloria, with her deep, radiant skin tone, had been dealing with this nonsense her whole life, and she was over it. So when she decides to start reviewing foundations, it's not just a content pivot, it's a whole-ass mission. Her first big foundation review drops in 2022, and it's for a Basma Beauty Stick Foundation shade 001, the darkest they've got.
I typically stick to my Fenty foundations because I know they're my shade and I know they look really good on me, but Basma Beauty sent me their stick foundation in the darkest shade 001. It's a lightweight formula and you can use it for multiple things, not just foundation. First of all, the packaging is literally everything. Like, we love a good pink. So immediately right out the packaging, I know this is not going to be my shade. It has too many red undertones. And this is the darkest shade, so let's just go ahead and try it.
Golloria is unboxing this PR package like it's Christmas morning, all, "Ooh, you fancy, huh?" She's giving us the full rundown. Lightweight formula, multi-use, cute pink packaging that's making her squeal. She's hyped up because she usually sticks to her trusty Fenty foundations. We'll get to her Fenty obsession later, but she's always down to try something new. So she swatches shade 001 on her face, and you can see the hope in her eyes. Like, maybe this is the one. Maybe Basmus is about to change the game. Spoiler alert, they don't. The shade is too red, too light, and Golloria's face says it all before she even opens her mouth. "Immediately no," she says, shaking her head like she just caught her ex texting someone else. "I couldn't even blend this if I wanted to." But here's where Golloria shows she's not just here to clown. She's here to give credit where credit's due. She tries using the foundation as a concealer because she's nothing if not resourceful. She slaps on some of her Fenty to balance it out, blends it all together, and, surprise, it's not terrible. It did brighten me up, she admits, giving it a begrudging 5 out of 10. But Basma, she says, you need darker shades. And you know what? Basma actually listens. They comment on her video, all contacting our lab ASAP. And the internet collectively loses its mind. Golloria's out here making brands sweat with one little TikTok, and we're living for it. This is the moment we realize, she's not just a creator, she's a force.
Immediately no. I couldn't even blend this if I wanted to. It's just too red and too light. But maybe I could use it as a concealer. Let's try that. You already know I had to bring out the Fenty. That's a shade match. Yes. Okay, round 2. It did brighten me up. I don't hate it. 5 out of 10. I think they need.
From that point on, Golloria realizes that foundations are her lane now. She starts testing every complexion product she can get her hands on, and her videos become the place to go if you're trying to find a shade that actually matches. Her process is peak Golloria, methodically but messy, serious but hilarious. She'll swatch the foundation on her arm first, holding it up to the camera like she's presenting evidence in a courtroom. Then she'll apply it to half her face, blending it out with a brush or her fingers, and you can see her squinting at herself in the mirror, looking to see if the foundation works and if it matches. If it's a match, she'll light up like a Christmas tree all, yes, this is the one. If it's not, you'll get the face. Oh, that face. A mix of disappointment and I need to speak to the manager of shade ranges that's become her signature. She'll break it down why it didn't work. Too ashy, too orange, too light, and suddenly you're learning about undertones without even realizing it.
That is a bit light.
Her followers are eating it up because Golloria is not just reviewing for herself, she's reviewing for everyone who's ever felt like the beauty industry didn't care about them. Her comments section turns into a full-on support group with people sharing their own shade struggles and thanking her for doing the Lord's work. She's not just a creator anymore, she's a lifeline, a shade-matching fairy godmother for anyone who's ever stood at a makeup counter and thought, well, I guess I'll just be ashy today.
It's true inclusivity. Yeah. Ooh la la! This is the darkest shade of the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, another banger. Okay, CoverGirl, don't play. It's giving skin. This is the darkest shade, yeah! You guys, this is...
By mid-2022, Golloria is starting to rack up some serious wins. She's testing the big names, NARS, Fenty, Rare Beauty, Urban Decay, and when they deliver, she's their biggest hype woman. The NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is another banger, she says, practically glowing as she blends it into her skin. The same for CoverGirl and Urban Decay's Face Bond. These aren't just reviews, they're celebrations, love letters to the brands that actually get it right. And when Golloria says something's good, you know it's legit, because she's not here to fake it for clout. She's got no time for that. She's too busy hunting down the next foundation to put through her shade test gauntlet. But let's not get it twisted. Golloria is not out here giving everyone a gold star. By the end of 2022, Golloria's follower count is climbing fast. She's at maybe 500,000 on TikTok now, with another couple 100,000 sprinkled across Instagram and YouTube. Her videos are going viral left and right, and she's starting to get noticed by the big dogs in the beauty world. Brands are sending her PR packages like it's Christmas every day, boxes of foundations, concealers, even a random lip gloss or two that she'll probably just review for fun. But Golloria's not here for the freebies, she's here for the mission. Every time she swatches a new foundation, she's not just testing a product, she's testing the industry, trying to find out if they're really about that inclusive life or just here to waste her time. That's the question she's asking with every video, and the beauty world is starting to sweat. What's wild is how Golloria's influence is starting to ripple out. Her Basma review didn't just get a comment from the brand, it got people talking. Other creators started jumping on the shade testing bandwagon, inspired by Golloria's no-nonsense approach. Fans are tagging her in their own foundation reviews, asking what she thinks of this one. What's wild is how Golloria's influence is starting to ripple out. She's becoming a whole-ass movement, a one-woman revolution in a sea of beauty influencers who are more about aesthetics than advocacy. And the best part? She's still the same chaotic queen we fell in love with. Her videos are still full of her signature humor. She's not polished, she's not perfect, but she's real. And that's why her followers keep coming back for more. By the time 2023 rolls around, Golloria's got a collective 2 million followers across platforms, with 1.4 million on TikTok alone. She's not just a creator anymore, but a cultural movement. Her videos are getting shared on X, dissected in Reddit threads, even popping up in group chats. She's the shade testing queen we didn't know we needed, and she's about to take things to a whole new level with a little brand called Youthforia. But we'll get to that drama in a minute, because it's a lot. For now, let's just sit back and appreciate how Golloria went from a TikTok newbie to a beauty industry watchdog, one foundation swatch at a time. Now our shade testing queen is about to step into her villain era. Not as the villain, obviously, but as the hero we all need to slay a beauty industry dragon. By 2023, Golloria is already a TikTok heavyweight, with over 1.4 million followers hanging on her every word and a reputation for keeping it realer than your Annie at a family reunion. She's out here swatching foundations like it's her full-time job, calling out the beauty world for their shade range sins, and practically being the fairy godmother of deep complexions everywhere. But this year, it's the year Golloria takes on Youthforia in a showdown that'll go down in beauty history as the shade mismatch heard around TikTok. In 2023, Youthforia's Date Night Foundation is everywhere. The brand is the new kid on the block, and they're coming in hot with all the buzzwords. Clean beauty, skin friendly, saying you can sleep in it and still look snatched. TikTok is eating it up, with influencers slapping on their filters and calling it the best thing since sliced bread. It's like your skin, but better, they say, while posing in perfect lighting that can make a paper bag skin look like a supermodel. The marketing's on point. Youthforia is out here promising a foundation for every skin tone, with a shade range that looks inclusive on their website. But looks can be deceiving, and Golloria is about to expose that lie. Golloria, being the shade testing detective she is, decides to give Youthforia a whirl. She's got shade 495 in her hands, the darkest they've got, and you can tell she's cautiously optimistic. Youthforia is the internet's new fave. So let's see what you've got, she says, shaking the bottle like she's about to mix a cocktail. She's giving the full unboxing experience, showing off the sleek packaging and reading the claims off the box like she's narrating a true crime podcast. They say this is good for all skin types, and you can sleep in it. Okay, Youthforia, I'm listening, she says, raising an eyebrow like she's already side-eyeing their promises. She swatches shade 495 on her cheeks, and you can see the exact moment her heart sinks. The shade looks off, like way off. On Youthforia's website, 495 is marketed as this rich, deep tone that looks like it could actually work for someone with Golloria's complexion. But in real life, it's like they tried to match a deep skin tone but gave up halfway. It's too light, too red, and not even close to what was advertised. Golloria's face is a whole mood. Part disappointment, part, are you serious right now?
Next foundation we're trying is the Youthforia Date Night Foundation that is literally going viral on TikTok, and apparently you can sleep in it. Let's see if it's tone inclusive. I'm using the darkest shade of 495, and this is what this product looks like online. But somehow these are the same color, right? One pump. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia Date Night.
But Golloria is nothing if not thorough, so she decides to give it a fair shot. She applies shade 495 to half her face, blending it out with her trusty foundation brush, and the camera zooms in so we can see the damage in HD. It's not good. The foundation is sitting on her skin like an awkward Tinder date. Zero chemistry, all cringe. It's too light to match her neck, too red to match her undertones, and it's giving her that ashy, patchy look that is every deep skin tone's nightmare. Golloria tilts her head, squints at herself in the mirror, and lets out a dramatic sigh that says it all. Now, if this were any other creator, they might have stopped there, posted a quick, "this sucks," and moved on to the next PR package. But not Golloria. Oh no, our girl's got a mission, and she's about to use this flop as a teachable moment for the entire beauty industry. She stitches the Youthforia website swatch into her video, showing side by side how the shade looks online versus how it looks on her skin. This is what they promised, she says, pointing to the website's rich, deep tone. And this is what I got, she adds, gesturing to the hot mess on her face. The difference is stark, y'all, like night and day, or more like what you ordered online versus what you got. Meme vibes. She's not just calling out a bad shade, she's calling out false advertising, and the internet is here for it.
I feel like I've been lied to so bad. This is what this shade looks like online, and this is what this shade looks like on the model. As we can see here, somebody is lying. There is no way these are the same two shades. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do we see each other? Raw.
Golloria doesn't stop at the shade mismatch, though. She zooms out to talk about the bigger issue, tone inclusivity, or the lack thereof, in the beauty world. This is what I'm talking about when I say brands need to do better, she says, her tone shifting from playful to passionate. You can't just throw a couple of dark shades at the end of your range and call it inclusive. You've got to actually test on real people, understand undertones, and stop acting like deep skin tones are an afterthought. It's a mic drop moment, and you can feel the weight of her words through the screen. She's not just disappointed in Youthforia, she's disappointed in an industry that keeps letting people like her down. And she's done staying quiet about it.
In 2023, for you to be lying about your shades online and this to be your darkest shade, maybe we should take a step back. Let's really, as a whole, as a company, as a beauty industry in itself, sit down and be like, hey, I have some questions. Like, yeah, you could sleep in this foundation, Pookie, but it's not tone inclusive. Could this to be your darkest shade in 2023?
The video gains traction almost instantly, amassing millions of views within just a few days. The comment section quickly becomes a battleground, supporters rallying around Golloria, while others question her claims. But Golloria remains unshaken. In response to the criticism, she reiterates her point, highlighting the shade mismatch once again with her signature blend of humor and confidence. Her response resonates with her audience, who see it as not just a rebuttal, but as a stand against a pattern of being dismissed. For many, it's more than makeup. It's about being seen.
With us. This keeps happening because tone inclusivity is not something these beauty companies are worried about. They do not care.
The controversy quickly made its way to X, formerly known as Twitter, where the beauty community began to weigh in. Users pointed out a noticeable mismatch between the foundation shade Golloria received and the shades presented by the brand online. The discrepancy sparked widespread discussion, with many questioning the brand's commitment to inclusivity. While the brand remained silent at first, Golloria's video ignited a wave of skepticism, making it clear that consumers were no longer willing to stay quiet about these issues. Even other creators start jumping in. Some are stitching Golloria's video to add to their own takes, while others are testing Shade 495 themselves and coming to the same conclusion. It's a flop. The hashtag started trending, and suddenly, this little foundation that was supposed to be a game changer is the beauty world's biggest L of the year.
Does these reviews where she reviews the darkest foundation or darkest shade of whatever beauty brand, and she reviewed Rare Beauty's bronzer, and this was the darkest shade. Rare Beauty customers themselves are saying, it's a shame the formula is so good, but I can't even use it. Other Latin mommies are saying, I didn't expect this from Rare Beauty or Selena. And then we have this girl, bronzer. Do you wear bronzer?
What's wild is how Golloria handles the whole thing. She's not out here trying to cancel Youthforia or start a witch hunt. She's not that kind of creator. She's too real for that. Instead, she uses the moment to educate, to push for change, to make sure the next person doesn't feel the way she did when that shade didn't match. Youthforia's founder, Fiona Cochan, finally caught whiff of this situation and decided to issue an apology. 2 apologies, in fact. The first one, she starts by saying they announced that they would be expanding on the product range during the launch of their product, and have since been doing extensive research on the said new ranges. She also says that she has launched her own fair share of flops, and this is the first line that is like a proof of concept to see if people liked the base formula.
We're going to extend our shades of foundation on the day that I launched our foundation. In a lore article dated back in September, I told them at our launch event that I planned on extending the shades soon. After launching my fair share of flops, it's always my intention to launch this as a proof of concept, see if people even liked the base formula, figure out if the entire project is such a flop that we have to start over and everything that we've ordered just goes into landfill, or we can kind of extend and expand. So working on shades and shade development, I've actually been working on some of this before we launched the foundation. But I always wanted to make sure that I left some room where I can actually take direct feedback. I love it when you guys send me feedback, especially videos, visuals. It's just super helpful for me. All of that ends up going into a really big document. Then it goes back to the lab. Then we do a lot of in-person shade development to make any other adjustments. So additional shades are coming. There's something that I've been actively working on before we launched our foundation. Shade development does take time. Sometimes there's some nuances with time of the year that we are developing shades. So for example, summer shades look different than winter shades, especially if you're someone who changes undertones as you get a little bit more tan.
But this was not received well by the Black community, as they claimed that they had been hearing the same apologies over and over again for ages. It almost feels like they are forgotten in these conversations, and that the beauty industry does not even try to cater to them, like saying they were not the target audience. And one notable personality in the beauty industry, a Black woman named Jackie Aina, had to call Youthforia out on their BS. So she made a video addressing the issue, especially Fiona's apology and the excuse that she conveniently made. She starts by calling out Fiona for saying that this first line was a proof of concept, because if it really was a sample range, how come it doesn't cater to people with deeper skin tones? It's almost like she's saying that if you have a skin darker than tan, then you have no say in this. And if people with tan skin are lighter approved, then it's good for everyone. Now that sounds very wrong to hear. It's almost as if civilization is regressing. Are you saying that people with the darker tones are an afterthought? These are questions on people's minds at this point.
Because it just is like, you honestly don't think Black people have not heard this same response for how many years? Probably since the dawn of beauty's existence. Well, in a mass scale like the way that it exists now. And the reason why this excuse is BS is because you're basically saying anybody that is lighter than a tan is going to be the case study for this product, okay? They're going to test it first. They're going to see if they like it. They're going to see if they approve. It's a proof of concept, as she phrased it. And this is not the first of its kind. This is the reason why when I first started my YouTube channel, I really prioritized this specifically in the beauty industry, why that specifically needed to change. Because what you're inadvertently saying is that anybody that isn't dark skin is the default. And if they like it first, then the rest of y'all will get it, okay? The rest of y'all will get it. After they see if they like it first, the rest of y'all will get the crumbs, the leftovers. You're basically...
She further adds a sample scenario of a small business like Youthforia, who is struggling to launch with all the possible ranges due to a limited budget and other financial constraints. In this scenario, she says they have to do one of two things. The first being that they launched a product with inclusive ranges, which the founder Fiona says they could not do at launch but are working on it. And the second option, which they failed to utilize, being that they launched an equal range of options for all skin tones. She's basically saying that instead of launching with 10 variations for people with lighter tones and the remaining 5 for the rest of the skin color spectrum, they should have launched in equal variations, options for the different skin tones. Something like 3 options for light-skinned people with different undertones, 3 for tan skin, 3 for brown, and so on and so forth. Now this way, you can say that you considered all skin tones during your product research, and nobody would say that you have a non-inclusive lineup. She ended the video by saying that if there isn't any money to pull off those ranges, then there's no need to do it. No one is asking, she says.
Saying that everybody else is an afterthought. That is what you're saying. And what I think a lot of brands really refuse to do, especially because let's even use the worst case scenario. You're a small business, right? You cannot just launch a product for everybody. I get it. Products cost money. Development costs money. Everything costs money, especially when you own a brand. But here's what you do. You don't. Like, keep that in the back stock. We don't want it. I don't want it unless you're either willing to do 2 things. 1, make it available to everyone. And if you can't, as a small business, it is okay, and that's understandable. What you need to do, and I looked at your website, you aren't doing this, by the way. What you need to do instead, if you can't launch this product for everybody, is make sure there's an even ratio of light shades, an even ratio of medium shades, an even ratio of dark, and a medium ratio of deep dark. That means if the most you can do is your tan, baby, you better divvy up that 10 from lightest to darkest. I don't want to see 10 variations of the same fair shade with multiple different undertones, and then here y'all always begging for something all the way at the end of the spectrum. 2 shades that are flexible, because that's not what y'all say, but the gag is y'all give them like last 4 shades the flex, like, here, make it work. But why don't fair skin, I don't even like the word fair, let's start there. Why don't light people have to make it work? Why not? If you don't have the money to really fully launch this the way that it deserves to be launched, don't do it. No one's asking.
And this video probably got to Fiona, so much so that it prompted her to issue a second apology video. In said video, she starts by apologizing again and then saying that they're a small business that was created to celebrate individual beauty, but their latest line of products didn't reflect that, adding that them being a tiny brand does not excuse the fact that some people don't feel seen or included in their latest lineup, and that they already have a number of new shades in development, and would be taking this feedback and applying said changes in the newer lineup.
Was create a space where individual beauty could be celebrated. And unfortunately, with our latest launch, we just fell short of that mission. I know I could say we're just a tiny brand, and that just doesn't excuse the fact that some of you guys do not feel seen or included, and that is unacceptable. I'm extremely sorry that we did not do a great job by you guys with this launch and with this product, but I'm trying to learn to be better. I've already set up time with community leaders and experts on the best way that we can improve. But for now, just know that we already have additional shades in development, and that all the photographs on our website reflect the shades that we actually sell. We would never alter the tones of our photos before posting that online. There'll be more coming from us shortly. We'll keep you guys posted. And if you guys would like to be part of the change, we're always looking for community.
Golloria is all over the internet. Her Youthforia video didn't just call out one foundation, it called out an entire industry, and people are listening. Beauty publications start picking up the story, quoting Golloria like she's the oracle of shade ranges. Other creators are giving her flowers, with some even likening her to the brand Fenty Beauty for the way she's pushing for inclusivity. And her followers? They're more loyal than ever. She's not just changing the game, she's rewriting the rules. And we're all here for it. Fast forward to 2024. Fiona has taken in all the criticism and corrections she got and even claims to have cut down the brand's delivery time from 24 months to only 4 months, which turned out not to be the greatest idea, and we'll find out why soon. So it's March, and Youthforia drops their new shade extension, hyping it up like it's the second coming of Fenty. They've added 10 additional shades, with a new deepest shade 600, and they're out here acting like they've cracked the code on inclusivity. Their website is full of buzzwords for all skin tones, developed with diversity in mind, blah blah blah. The swatch for shade 600 looks promising online. A rich, deep tone that seems like it might actually work for someone with a complexion like Golloria's. Her followers are cautiously optimistic, as were other neutrals following the story. Everybody wanted to know if Fiona and her company finally fixed Golloria's complaints. Just as the world was itching an excited wait, she finally drops the video everyone was waiting for. She starts the review like she always does, unboxing the foundation with all the drama of a reality TV star opening a mystery box. The Youthforia Shade 600 is the new kid on the block. So let's see what they've got. She gives the bottle a little shake for effect. Then she pumps out a bit onto her face, and you can see the exact moment her soul leaves her body. The shade isn't just dark, it's jet black. Like blacker than the inside of your eyelids black. No undertones, no nuance, just straight up tar in a bottle. Golloria's face is in a whole mood, part shock, part "are you kidding me right now?" And she hasn't even applied it properly yet. "This is the darkest shade," she says, holding up the swatch like it's a crime scene. "Youthforia, what in the actual hell is this?" But wait, it gets worse, or better, depending on how much you love a good roast. Golloria decides to take it up a notch, because she's not just here to review, she's here to make a point. She grabs a bottle of black face paint, yes, you heard that right, face paint, and swatches it right next to the Youthforia foundation. Which side of my face is the black face paint, and which side is the Youthforia foundation, she asks, zooming in so we can see the two swatches side by side. Spoiler, you can't tell. They're both jet black with zero depth or dimension.
Or the Youthforia foundation. You can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. This is jet black face paint, and this is the darkest shade of the Youthforia Date Night foundation. This is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is what it looked like on me. I'm gonna apply some of the foundation on this side of my face so you guys can see. Let's just go ahead and try to blend this out, you guys. Enough. Who is that color?
She's asking, who is that color? Because after applying the dark shade 600 to one side of her face and the jet black face paint on the other, it's almost like she's reenacting a minstrel show. The foundation doesn't blend, it just sits there, looking like she dipped her face in black ink. It's so dark and flat that it doesn't even look like makeup. It looks like she's getting ready for a Halloween costume party, not a casual Tuesday. She uses the moment to break down why Shade 600 is such a catastrophic fail, giving us a mini masterclass in shade matching. Even the deepest skin tones have undertones. Warm, cool, neutral, she says, referring to her own complexion, adding that you can't just make a shade that's pure black and call it inclusive.
I'm gonna wipe this off and let me put the paint all over my face. I'm literally just going in with the face paint. We're gonna do some painting, and let me just go ahead and blend it out with a brush. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe my brand is not made for complexion. I'm gonna squeeze a pump of this on my forehead just right out the bottle so you guys can see that I'm literally not joking. We're gonna do a big blend of this, you guys. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown.
She further adds that the dark shade 600 literally has no undertone and is just like putting coal tar in a bottle, advising Fiona to reconsider if her brand should really go into completions, as it is totally wrong and offensive to release black paint and say that it's somebody's complexion. She then compares the last two shades on the latest release, the shade 590 and shade 600. pitting them side by side to show the insane jump from foundation to minstrel show paint. She suggests that there should be as many as 10 more shades between these two, but somehow they have managed to flop again.
Shade right next to it is shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these two shades. In addition to that, when we go to the actual website and we look at the swatch, not only is the swatch online literally jet black, there's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexions. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this...
The video is peak Golloria. Hilarious, unfiltered, and straight to the point. But she doesn't stop at the roast. She also explains why it doesn't work and how they can make it better. It's the kind of insight that makes you realize Golloria is not just a TikTok star. She's a legit advocate who knows her stuff, and she's out here schooling brands like it's her day job. The video goes viral, and it racks up millions of views in a matter of hours, and the internet goes absolutely feral. The comments section is a war zone of laughter, rage, and memes. Some claim that the Youthforia foundation looked better on her and made her glow, which is clearly not the case unless they were watching the video on a black and white screen. Some argue with her and say that Youthforia has a problem with being too warm with their tones and even ask her to try mixing the shade 590 with the shade 600. And one user says that some were missing the point by focusing on how it looked or did not look, saying that it's insane that dark people have to pick between 2 shades, while people with lighter complexions have dozens to choose from. And that was the problem here, as confirmed by one user named Lil E, when she says, "Here I'm getting overwhelmed at all of the choices available to me, while you are having the exact opposite experience." Even other creators jump in, with some testing the shade themselves and coming to the same conclusion. It's a flop of epic proportions.
Is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation.
I think everyone's being a little dramatic.
I'm gonna show you how to use that shade.
So first take the black paint, the foundation. Yeah, it's really nice and dark. We're gonna do a drop and then mix the lighter shade. Mix it really good. And if it's still too dark, add another shade of foundation. If you're struggling to match yourself, it's really a you problem. You just don't know how to mix the right pigments. Look at this beautiful shade of skin tone gray I created. You're telling me nobody is this color? Someone is.
What takes this drama to the next level is when the experts get involved. Cosmetic chemist Javen Ford sees Golloria's video and decides to weigh in, breaking down the shade 600 formula like he's solving a murder mystery. Turns out that it's just black iron oxide in it. No red, no yellow, no depth, he says in his own video, which is a stitch with Golloria's video. It's like the brand didn't even try. They just threw in the darkest pigment they could find and called it a day. He also compared it to the prior shade 590, which is more than just one coloring, as it had titanium oxide with red and yellow iron oxides.
Which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation? T, you can't tell.
I wanted y'all to see something first before folks start gaslighting her and other black creators in the comments. So this is one of Youthforia's lightest foundations. If you look here at the bottom of the ingredient list, you'll notice 3 different colors. Stay with me now. The CI stands for color index, and it basically represents titanium white, red, and yellow iron oxides. Pretty much the only colors you need to make a lighter shade of foundation. But then if we look at their darkest shade, the ingredient list tells a different story. Here there's only one pigment, CI77499, which is just black iron oxide. No other colorants. This foundation literally only has pure black pigment. Here's a close-up if you missed it the first time. And before folks say, oh, maybe it's meant as a mixing pigment, that makes no sense. Anyone who's ever taken an art class will tell you that black is a terrible pigment to mix with, because it just makes things gray and muddy. And skin tones typically have some combination of eumelanin and pheomelanin. The pheomelanin is where we get the red and yellow undertones. And this problem is so avoidable, she literally could have used NARS or Fenty foundation shades as a benchmark. This brand does not care about us.
Golloria's fans are living for the receipts and are flooding Javan's comments with love for Javan for bringing out facts to back up her claims. The drama spills over into beauty publications, with articles popping up like this Times article that said, makeup brand Youthforia faces backlash over dark foundation that looks like jet black paint. And you better believe they're quoting Golloria like she's the queen of shade ranges, which, let's be real, she is. Other creators start amplifying Golloria's message, especially those with deeper skin tones who know this struggle all too well. Madiap, who's a South Sudanese creator and another TikTok fave, jumps in too, pointing out that the shade doesn't work for their skin either. It's too flat, too artificial, too wrong. And she has one of the darkest shades in the world, and it still looked like black paint on her face.
Should be a crime. This is what we get when we ask to be included in the beauty industry. Because there's no way in 2024 we are getting this. They just slap it in our face saying, if you want a darkest shade, there you go. Here's the black paint for your face. This is truly a crime. We as South Sudanese, we are one of the darkest people on this planet. And if you cannot find anyone among us to match this shade, just know this is not a foundation, neither a skin tint. And this is just a big shame. I am so glad that I declined 4 months ago when they reached out to me asking if I can collaborate with them. This, it's one thing to make a mistake once, but once you make it twice, it's just a slap in the face. Have we not learned anything?
It's like Youthforia looked at the concept of inclusivity and said, nah, let's just make black paint. Golloria's video becomes a rallying cry for everyone who's ever felt ignored by the beauty industry, and the conversation grows louder than ever. Youthforia, meanwhile, is in full damage control mode, but it's not looking good for them. They drop a now deleted statement on their Instagram, basically saying, we're sorry, we're listening, we'll do better. But the internet's not buying it this time, because they said the same thing last year, and now this. The brand's reputation takes a nosedive, with some users even calling for a boycott, saying, I'm not spending my coins on a brand that can't get it right, one follower writes, and the sentiment spreads like wildfire. Youthforia's Clean Beauty Glow Up is officially canceled, and Golloria is the one holding the receipts. What's so iconic about this moment is how Golloria handles it. She's not out here trying to start a mob. She's just telling the truth and doing it with a flair that makes you laugh through the frustration. She's disappointed, but she's not defeated. She's using the moment to push for change, to demand better, to make sure the next person doesn't feel the way she did when she swatched that shade. She's basically saying to brands, if you're gonna say you're inclusive, you better mean it, she says, and her followers are in the comments like, preach. By mid-2024, Golloria's influence is at an all-time high. Her Youthforia videos, both the 2023 original and the 2024 sequel, have collectively racked up tens of millions of views, and she's become the face of shade range accountability. Brands are starting to take notice, with some even reaching out to her for feedback before they launch new products. Because if Golloria says it's a flop, you know it's a flop. She's not just a creator anymore. She's a cultural shift, a one-woman revolution who's making the beauty world a better place, one viral video at a time.
Everyone's in your comments always talking about, does she actually really ever wear her perfume? Do you?
Hold on. You come in.
Okay, big C.
Hold on, Caroline.
Pull it
Hold on,
out.
Caroline. I don't like this question.
Oh, you don't like it?
I feel offended.
Oh.
I feel really offended by this question.
Okay. Oh,
Would you like some?
I would. Ah! Did y'all ever get spritzed by Ree? I don't think so.
Ask me again.
Now Golloria's got over 4 million followers across platforms, with 3.2 million on TikTok alone, and she's basically the patron saint of shade matching for anyone who's ever felt like the beauty world didn't see them. She's dragged Youthforia through the mud not once, not twice, with shade range fails that'll go down in history as the messiest L's since, well, ever. But Golloria's story isn't just about the drama, it's also about the change she's sparking, the resilience she's showing, and the future she's building for all the makeup lovers who've been waiting to feel seen. Let's start with the big picture. Golloria's impact is seismic. When she first started posting in 2020, the beauty industry was still acting like shade ranges were an optional side quest, something you could slap together with a few light to medium shades and call it a day. Back then, if you had a deep complexion, you were basically on your own, mixing foundations like you're a contestant on Nailed It, just to get something that didn't make you look like you rolled in chalk. Sure, Fenty came along in 2017 and shook things up with their 40 shades, but even then, a lot of brands were like, inclusivity? Sounds cute, but we'll pass. Golloria, with other black creators like Jackie Aina and Audrey Rain, said, no, we're not doing this anymore, and started holding brands accountable in a way that's impossible to ignore. Golloria's videos aren't just reviews, they're a whole movement. Every time she swatches a foundation and calls out a shade mismatch, she's not talking to her 2 million followers, she's talking to the entire industry, calling on them to do better with every side eye and sound effect. And guess what? They're listening. After her Youthforia dramas in 2023 and 2024, brands are starting to get the memo. If you're gonna say you're inclusive, you better mean it, because Golloria's got her eyes on you, and she's not afraid to drag you in 4K. Her videos have sparked shade extensions, apologies, even some behind-the-scenes changes. Word on the streets is that some brands are hiring actual diverse teams now, testing on real people instead of just guessing what a deep skin tone looks like. Imagine that. Golloria's out here making boardrooms diversify, one TikTok at a time. But this journey's been all sunshine and shade matches. Golloria's had to deal with some serious shade of her own, and I'm not talking about foundations here. Being a Black creator, calling out big brands comes with pushback, and she's felt it. After her Youthforia videos, some folks tried to downplay her critiques, saying things like it might work for someone or that she's just looking for clout. Excuse me, Karen, did you not see the jet black foundation that looked like it came straight out of a Halloween store? Others straight up trolled her, leaving comments telling her to stop complaining, that it's not that bad, even though the evidence was right there in her video, and some others blatantly questioning her right to drop such reviews as she's not a cosmetic chemist. Another ignorantly asked her to try the other options they had for darker skins. But Golloria is not one to back down easily though. But the trolling got so bad, especially on platforms like Instagram, where these brands she was taking down had really large followings. Under any of her posts, you'd regularly see hateful and racist comments. And when her fans tried to call them out, they are gaslit, as we see in this interaction. The trolls aren't the only challenge. She's also had to deal with the pressure of being a creator in the spotlight. With 2 million followers comes 2 million expectations. And Golloria's got to keep delivering content that's fresh, real, and true to her mission. And this is why she was forced to leave the scene by September 2024. And before she left, she posted this on her Instagram that read, "Hi babes, I'm logging off for a bit." The internet has become an increasingly violent space, particularly for dark-skinned Black women. It's heartbreaking and harmful to constantly confront the overwhelming, colorist, anti-Black, and racist rhetoric that's thrown at the masses. No one should be forced to endure that level of emotional trauma. What's even more disturbing is how bigotry and white fragility are amplified when Black women, especially those with darker skin, speak out. The world consistently refuses to listen or acknowledge their experiences. There's a persistent failure to see dark-skinned Black women as fully human, as deserving of the same empathy, respect, and grace afforded to others. They're often dehumanized, either erased or harshly criticized, because the world doesn't know how to engage with their existence beyond stereotypes and shallow narratives. This is the harsh reality. Society has long been conditioned to dismiss them, to see them as less deserving of care and protection. That dehumanization allows for the continued disrespect and disregard for their voices, bodies, and contributions. This has got to change. Black women deserve to be treated with dignity. Black creatives deserve recognition and respect. And dark-skinned women deserve to be seen, valued, and humanized in every sense. They're not here to be performers for the world's consumption, nor to be your punching bag. They're here to live fully, with the humanity that should never be questioned or denied. But she was quickly back by October, proving that she's resilient and isn't going to let negativity stop her from speaking for Black women worldwide. So what's the tea on Golloria's story? It's simple but powerful. Your voice matters. Whether you're posting a TikTok, leaving a comment, or just trying to find your shade, you're part of the change. Golloria has shown us that speaking up, even when it's hard, can move mountains. She's taken on the beauty industry with nothing but a ring light and a dream, and she's winning. Not because she's trying to be famous, but because she's trying to be real. So here's to Golloria George, the shade testing queen, the viral legend, the hero we didn't know we needed. Keep slaying, sis. The beauty world's never been the same since you showed up, and we're all better for it.